And we're up. All right.
Okay. Where's the mic on your computer?
It's all built in.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you guys for coming tonight. Welcome to our June 10th board meeting. I'm going to read the Open Public Meeting Act notice. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Sunshine Law, annual notice having been published on or about July 1st in two local newspapers, with a copy on file with the board secretary and a copy to be posted to the TCCS website. This meeting is being called to order at 7:05. So the first thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes for 4:15, 5:13, and our closed session notes. Can I get a motion? Go, Chris, motions. Do motion in the meeting. I'm not second. Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So the minutes pass. All right. We did have a presentation from Ms. Gonzalez, but she's on her way. So I guess we can go to the next director's report.
Okay, yeah, we'll jump back around to that. So welcome everybody to our final board meeting of the 23-24 school year. I only have a couple things to review before turning it over. First of those is our regular enrollment update. I'm pleased to say we are finishing off the year at full enrollment at 369. In regards to next year, talking about intent forms and that whole process, I had actually asked the community to fill out their forms by last Friday. Overall, excluding 8th graders and incoming kindergartners, we would have needed to get 288 possible intent forms in. Of those, 260 have been submitted, which is actually pretty good. So I'm going to actually have Stephanie in the office reach out to any of those who did not fill out their forms to make sure they fill them out before the end of the school year, so we know what we're doing in July. Of the responses that we did get, we actually only have 3 indications of students not returning. So we've got 2 students who are going into 6th grade who will not be returning, and 1 who is going into 3rd grade who will not be returning. But otherwise, we look like it looks at this point like we do have a pretty good return rate. The next thing that I have on the agenda is just a really brief overview of our Washington, D.C. trip. And by overview, I mean just to let everybody know how great it was. We really had a good time. It was 7th and 8th graders. We had 44 students that went with us. It was a 3-day trip, 2 nights. It was packed with sightseeing and historical lessons and visits to monuments and everything else, with some good meals along the way and just some good memories for the kids. So it was a really good time. Everybody, I believe, had a nice time. We were able to take tons and tons of pictures that we shared out with the families, and we shared it with the larger community last Friday in the backpack. But it really was, something that is a special memory for these kids. It's a good experience to do these overnight trips now that we especially can, after having paused for a number of years and easing our way back in last year. So it was a really good time, and I just want to thank everybody who was part of that. I want to thank Mr. Adam for helping the chaperone. I want to thank Ms. Anders for also helping out, and Ms. Mendoza. The 4 of us were with 44 kids, and everybody was cooperative, and it was a really good time. And now I will turn it over to Sonia.
So last Tuesday we had our annual field day, and it was a good time because we had everybody back in the same location. So it was great to have all of our students at Wilty Park. We also brought back burgers and hot dogs, and so it was great to have that at our field day again. But it's just this field day just reminded us of how great the community is, because really a lot of people came, helped out. There were a bunch of parents in the cooking area, grilling or serving or helping pass things around. So we really appreciate everyone's help for field day. The staff helping out with the students and getting people around with the hectic schedule as field day always is. But it was a successful field day, and so just thank everyone who was involved with field day again this year, and all the cooks, how hot it was on that grill, and all the parent volunteers who were there. Again, thank you. We can't have a successful event without all of you, so thank you for making it successful. And next up is graduation. So this Wednesday is graduation. We have Authors Day in the morning, which is our kindergarten graduation, and then we have the 8th grade graduation at 6 p.m. So we're excited to see our students graduate. I just came from their 8th grade dance at Maggiano's, so I popped in to see them real quick and got a couple pictures, and Me and Ms. Scalisi, I think she's made it back. Okay, good. So we're excited for them. So I hope that we'll see you all at graduation on Wednesday.
Perfect. And with graduation comes the end of the school year, and with the end of the school year comes the summer. So we do have a couple updates that we are going to be working on in the building. I've talked about this at the last couple meetings, but on last Friday, actually, I'm sorry, last Tuesday before I left for Washington, I had a construction meeting with, it was a kickoff meeting with our architect who has been working with us thanks to friends of TCCS, and our construction company that we settled on, which is Mobile Construction, who has done some other work with us to talk about the office project and the renovation in the resource room that we're going to be doing. Everything is sort of in order to get the ball rolling. The two different groups are actually going to be communicating directly in terms of getting the permits together and everything else. So we do look to really start with the project as soon as the school year is over. So we're looking, if not the 19th, I'm sorry, the 20th of June, definitely sometime the following week. We're going to have construction workers in here clearing things out, taking things out of the ceiling and moving ahead with that. So we definitely are on pace for everything we want to do with that. So I'm happy to say that that's moving along. The other projects that we are also working on is the kindergarten bathrooms. We're in need of a renovation. Mark has been working with several different companies to look at what would potentially be our best option for changing the toilets to something a little higher, but still within code. And also fixing the stalls where there's been a little bit of water damage and other damage over the last couple of years since it was last done. So that's also taking place this summer. So that's going to be a beneficial upgrade. And the other thing that we are looking at, I talked about last time, is adding electronic gates to the parking lot to serve as a security feature that we can open and unlock remotely if we need to. And along with that, we are getting pricing for actually redoing the entire fence. And we've got various prices that range to really, really high to somewhat more reasonable. And if we wanted to go with a more reasonable price, we're looking at using a cooperative purchasing agreement, which we're actually looking to approve tonight, which I sent out to the board before tonight's meeting. And again, we're not obligated to use it, but it's something that would actually help us to reduce the price significantly if we were to go ahead and redo the entire fence. But we're looking at pricing, we're looking at our options, but one of the things that at a minimum, we definitely want to make sure we're putting those gates in as a security feature. And more information will be, forthcoming in July, and hopefully, if not the beginning of July, then the end and the beginning of August. And that's all I had for the director's report. Now that Yvette is here, if you want, I'm going to bring up the presentation and I'll give you guys the floor.
Sure. Hi, sorry I'm late, guys. So tonight we have some guests here. They're going to give the community and the board and the community a brief presentation of what Musical Boosters, now known as Visual Performing Arts at Teen and Community Art School, has been up to from beginning to current time. We have the living parent and current class member, Mr. Ed Pierce, who is fairly known with the community, and one of our ex-teachers, Mr. Jamie Valente. And they will take the floor and share some really informative information.
The best place to sit so you can see all of your faces. I'm so cool to do this with sheet out like we do on stage.
Yeah.
So hi everybody. If I don't know you, I'm Ed. Nice to see you. We had 3 children go to the charter school. Evelyn's going into her senior year at Bucknell University now, and Isaac and Iris just finished their freshman year at various schools. So in college. So we've been here a while. Jamie.
I'm Jamie. I had 9 years, 1 program, and 1 union go through the charter school. So looking forward to being part of this, moving forward. But turning it back to Ed as a community leader.
So what we put together tonight is really just a little bit of a snapshot of like a dozen years, so that we can understand a little bit of the history to understand where we see the future. And the vet has so kindly helped us recently kind of re-engage the community after the pandemic to really kind of move us and launch us forward, as Jeff and Abby have so diligently kept the program thriving in the last, well, how long have you been here?
6 years.
6 years. So here we are. So this is our logo, been a little modified to suit today. And so we're just gonna, that was the welcome. We do want to talk a little bit about the TCCS mission. It's always good whenever we talk about something for this school to root it in the mission of the school. It's not just something that's on the wall, but it's something that's living and breathing, and how that art and music are combined into that mission. A little bit of the inception of the performing arts program, our growth, and the future. So always back to the mission about student-centered learning, expeditionary learning behind the school's walls, and nurturing diverse perspectives. All of these components are inherently baked into what this program is conceived since its first day, and continues to be so. One of the reasons why the founders of the charter school founded the school is because what was lacking in the Teaneck public school system was an emphasis on music and art. In fact, they were de-investing. They were taking them out of, they were firing people, not hiring people. They were literally removing those programs from the Teaneck public school systems back then. And that's why, one of the reasons why the founders started the school in the first place. So art and music have always been inherent and embedded in every thread of the school. And in fact, even from the first days of having a small faculty, there were always a music teacher and 2 art teachers. For how many years? We had 3 art and music teachers, at least the first 10 years, if not longer. So as we built this program, as with many programs in charter school, it really centered around the themes of community and collaboration for all the obvious reasons. Click on people know what communication and collaboration and community are. But it always comes back to choice. We chose to be here. We have to do ourselves. Everyone has to chip in to make it a great school, and you have to get involved and work together. So what did that mean? So early on, we tried to go out and find ways to launch the program. And in doing so, in 2012, there was a show on NBC called Smash. It ran for a season or 2. It was kind of like the making of a Broadway show, had a lot of Broadway people in it, and it was very popular. And NBC paired up with Music Theater International, which is a company that oversees a lot of the shows that get done in schools, and they created a grant program. And we applied for it vigorously and did a tremendous community outreach to get everybody in the school for us to be highly visible. And so we won. We were one of the top 5 schools in the country, and it came with a number of things equaling about $10,000 worth of goods and services and some cash. So we held a big press event outside where the gym is now. It was a field, and we held a big press event because we wanted to have a big splash and really kick this off. And it had 2 parts: one to start the program, but also it was the first time TCSEO and us came together to raise money for the building of a creative arts suite and ultimately this group. So we had one of those big checks. We raised $20,000 and had the big press event and had a lot of celebrities and local leadership here. I bring this up because I found this drawing when I was making this presentation, and this is a kind of a bird's eye view of the lot with the parking lot. And you can see an arrow to the cafeteria, which was the cafeteria, the gym, and the auditorium, and the everything room. Everything happened in that room. The big grassy area is where there was a future gym, and that's where we held the press event. And then where we are now looked like that back in 2012. It was just a big empty attic filled with junk. So the first show we did was Annie. It was because it was part of the Music Theater International family, and it was a great starter show. And so we didn't have anything but a cafeteria, so we figured out how to make platforms, and we put a big stage right in the middle of the room, and we sat everybody around it, so it was very inclusive and very community-based, and we made a show. But not just doing the show, that was never the thing. that is never just the thing. It's always about how you get there and the journey of getting there. So beginning with that journey, aside from having casting and having rehearsals, we made sure that we introduced the concept of pre-builds. And a pre-build is where you need to do all the stuff, build the costumes, build the set, make the props, but we wanted all these to be inherently community-based. Families coming together, doing things together. And so these events happen regularly through the many, many years of the program and continue to today, where you see parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, and kids of all ages coming together, getting their hands dirty, working together towards a common goal.
And as you look forward at the mission of the school, bringing the community together and providing opportunities that the public school does not. You're looking at, the traditional public school does not. You're looking at the opportunity to not only expand the family outreach, but you're looking at opportunities where middle schools, elementary schools have never had it. Middle schools are cutting wood shop, auto shop, metal shop. You're seeing elementary school students, middle school students, learning how to measure, cut, nail, the technical skills that are being cut from the traditional public schools, which should be the heart of charter school mission and across the state of New Jersey, being applied, not just for the purpose of a photo op or for the purpose of a short-term grade for maybe students who don't feel inclined to join music or feel inclined to join the visual arts. They have a place to show their skills. The charter school is their home. And it's not just home for them, it's home to come together with their parents. Bottom right-hand corner is a union tradesman working with his daughter, showing that connection to community, to labor, to curriculum that is being lost in the traditional public school setting that survives here.
Ultimately, it all comes together. We had to create a space, as we showed. We don't have a cafeteria gymatorium, and so for these few weeks, we would carve out space, and the entire school community was always very accommodating. The teachers always extremely accommodating because this was a physical interruption to the flow of school, but it was important to always to be able to have that time to culminate all the hard work that the community was doing. And so on the top right corner was our assistant principal, who would climb up on ladders and hang cables and lights that were donated, board members unloading fabrics and hanging them, everyone coming together to build. Over the last dozen years, there's been 26 productions between main stage and summer camp productions, running the gamut of modern to classic. All along the way, however, we've been very mindful of building stock. Building stock means just don't do it as a one-off, but think about the future as you are investing in be it a costume or a piece of scenery or a prop. Build it to last, build it to adapt, and keep what's worthy and recycle and reuse what's not. And so ultimately, this room, which was an attic, got over several opportunities, lots of stuff thrown out in dumpsters. There was many dumpster days over the last dozen years to make space to more organically organize everything, and also on a path to start to see what this space, which was always slated to be for arts, could be. So I was here about a year ago representing Friends of the Charter School, talking about the construction project, and this is an opportunity where the creative arts program and the construction project kind of come together. Because for many, 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 many years, we did a lot of fundraising to make the art space. We did a lot of feasibility studies with architects to figure out how to make this space work with the existing building. And the fundamental problem always was egress, how to get in and out of the space. We were always losing a tremendous amount of space to hallways rather than classroom space or useful space. And so ultimately, it just kind of dinged on us one day that instead of thinking small, we should think big. Instead of thinking raise money for an art room, it was raise money for a gym and an art room. Instead of just working here, we did let's do the whole space. And it really was an inflection point where a lot of the demands of the school came together and kind of crossed together at this moment. And it's like I just kind of joked for many years that to build an art suite, we had to build a gym. But it's the truth. And so that's kind of the moment of inflection here that I wanted to bring together. This was a slide from a year ago. I just wanted to, but part of the financing of the new building was from the beginning to renovate the unfinished adjacent 3,600 square foot space for the art suite. And all along, this was the construction project, building the gym where the yard was, and then up here, building the art suite and connecting it together over here with the new gallery and the bathrooms below. And for the most part, that's what this turned into upstairs here, which I think has worked out pretty well. Okay, so what's next? That's what's really important for us. Like, we've achieved a lot, we've learned a lot, we're always learning, we're lifelong learners, but what is next? How can we take what we've built as a community and as a board and think, how do we make this bigger? How do we make this better? And this is kind of why we're here tonight, to just kind of help put some germs of an idea into all of our heads that we can sit with and think about and come back together and collaborate on. The first is, we're going to continue to do community productions because we're a community school, and these are the most hands-on things we can do for our community and our students. So obviously through the summer program, which I think has a tremendous enrollment this year.
So far, yeah.
Okay, and the annual main stage, that'll continue to happen. The next step is foundational support. So that's the big move that we started to make in the last few months. So for all the last dozen years, financially, we've operated kind of in partnership with the school and in partnership with TCCS. We actually have a sub-bank account under TCCS's federal ID number. And the monies have been put there specifically. That's been raised through the process of doing the productions and fundraising so that they could be segregated and understood. But it's kind of not responsible now to leave those monies with TCCS because it's time to grow up. And so most recently we created a new 501c3. It's called Visual, it's a very long title, Visual and Performing Arts at Teaneck Community Charter School. We're calling it VPA, Visual Performing Arts. And the logo that we had is our current working logo at the front of the slides. And, you know, like Friends, which is there to support the mission of the school, but Friends is kind of looking at it from more a real estate perspective, long-term financing, you know, the goals, the larger mission of the school. This foundation has a very specific focus about ensuring the livelihood and the longevity of the visual and performing arts, creative arts program at the school, and to nurture it and to enrich it in any way possible. And the last bit on that, so that's what I just said. The last bit is the creative arts program. So you can go ahead and click a slide. That's all what I just said, that's EPA, that's what we're doing. And then this is what we want to focus on, because this is the real next meaty step that we would love to explore with the community, which is that the program has always been conceived as a program of study, a true, honest curriculum that has like backed up with approved curriculum and supported staff. Okay, music, movement, dramatic play, puppetry, the visual arts, painting, sculpting, drawing, and all other media invite children to invent, make discoveries, explore ideas, objects, and materials. And the creative arts allow children to experience the deep satisfaction that comes from expressing themselves and making something new. For all of you educators in the room, creative arts supports learning in all domains. And the program intrinsically promotes the mission of our school because it is a living curriculum, experiential, interdisciplinary, and encompasses all the critical thinking and all of that interaction that we seek in a charter school, especially this charter school. The program is conceived around 4 tenets: visual arts, which we do a lot of now, but could certainly expand; music, which again, we focus some of these things, but could continue to expand. The next component that we see adding is the true performing arts component, and then ultimately rounding it out with what we're labeling as the industrial arts and technology component. This is where you get into actual more hands-on woodworking, sewing and crafts, safety and planning, construction, and technical thinking. But we know we have a strong foundation in visual arts. We've been here for 20 some odd years now, right? And visual arts has always been here. Music has always been here. We want to grow those to reflect what people are doing in the fields today and how to inspire students to want to pursue and see opportunity in art-based careers, but also to really solidify, have the budget and the planning of a curriculum support a true performing arts component of the program, and start to really broaden this out to a proper curriculum.
And as we move towards that performing arts curriculum, while we can all say it's been occurring, with our support, with Jeff and Abby's stewardship over the past few years, when it comes time to renew, which I believe is what, next year?
2 more years.
2 years. Get a little room. As we come to renew, those pieces that separate this amazing school and this amazing experience from the traditional public school must be solidified. They must be written down. They must be adopted by this body. As we look towards a performing arts curriculum, there are resources available through Jeff, through Abby, through their union, through community partners. They're all available to build that performing arts piece out, not just to a dream, to a program, but to a standards-based curriculum that can then be followed by an appropriately posted, hired, and funded educator that separates this school from the traditional public. We have always stood. It's why I took a job here. It's why Jeff took a job here. Why Abby took a job here. There are plenty of music and arts places to work. This is different. Because of the commitment. Because of the community. And sometimes you have to take that commitment and put it on paper. The next step is to fill out that performing arts curriculum. And we are not saying best of luck, right? We have the resources. We have professionals in the field. We have union professionals and resources. We have dedicated educators that are willing to walk in step with this board to once again set ourselves apart from the traditional public, which again, nothing wrong with it, right? There's nothing wrong with the traditional public education. But we know that we have the resources, we have the desire, we have the talent to set ourselves apart, as we have done for 26 productions. I defy you to find an elementary school with 26 productions over 12 years. This is something we can do together, and we look forward to supporting the board and working collaboratively as we set up a performing arts curriculum that when Ralph and Sonia have the dubious task of sitting in front of the state to renew the mission and what we all believe in at this school, to say we are not status quo. We've been renewed multiple times, but we are not status quo. We are growing. In the face of challenging times, to leaders who took us through COVID, and we are still here, not just as a school, but as a performing arts program. We are still here, and we will grow together, and we look forward to that partnership. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that presentation. Very inspiring. So next up is the committee updates. So we did have an RFP committee meeting where we looked at new council starting July 1. There were 3 proposals. We did go with 1. We were waiting on a special ed specific council going forward. So that should be coming within the next week. And I don't think any other committees met. Curriculum didn't meet, finance didn't meet, community elections. Well, governance did, we did the election committee as well, where we set up the forum and we reviewed we vetted our new board members who were coming on. Our incumbents did their forum as well, and it went really well. It was last week. Thank you for the 13 people that tuned in. We were hoping for more, but everyone did a great job. And I think that's it on my part. RFP. Oh, I'm sorry. And I left out the RFP component for the doctors as well. So we need a new school physician. Our previous one had a conflict, so was no longer available to us. So we did finalize that, and that's going to be approved tonight as well.
Perfect. Okay, next thing that I threw on here was just a recap of what our board meeting calendar is going to look like for next year. It's in the resolution, but I did distribute it to the board, so hopefully this works out for everybody, or at least enough for quorum. The first meeting of the year where we would do reorganization, we are looking at July 1st, which is a Monday, which is far removed enough from the holiday. We hope to get the year going on the first day, which would be great. So hopefully all new returning board members, everybody will be available so we can get everybody sworn in and hit the ground running. But otherwise, you guys will approve this tonight, okay? All right, next on the agenda is our board election results. As you know, today was the Board of Trustees election. About 17% of eligible voters voted today, which is a little less than last year, but not all that much, actually. But the results are in, and I'll share them right now. We had 3 people running for 3 spots, and our top 3 vote getters are Joseph Avino, Keisha Carter, and Anthony McGilchrist. Congratulations. There were a number of write-ins as well. Yes, Kirk got one. And this will all be published on the website. It'll be put out there. Any write-ins for existing candidates would be disqualified because you can only vote once for each person. But otherwise, those are our 3 top winners. So congratulations and welcome back, and welcome to the board, Joe. We look forward to working with you. And it was a good election. Thank you all.
I just want to say thank you to Kirk Mitchell for the last 3 years and your service on the board. It's a volunteer position. It's not an easy position. It takes time, and I appreciate you. And I thank you for all your support through the past 3 years. And I also wanted to say that in conversations with some of the board members, similar to what we're doing via curriculum with the pacing guides, and as we're shifting to a new board, what I did was I kind of did a similar pacing guide of what we are responsible for throughout the year. I also added in 2 more workshops throughout the year. We usually do 1 a year, but I think we should do like a summer, middle of the year, and end of the year, being that we've received so much feedback just within our board of how us as a community, as a group, can get together. So I'll pass this around, and if you guys, for your review whenever you see fit. And if there's any questions or anything that was left out, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll update it. And that's it. So now it's the resolution.
Okay, so I'll just go over the resolutions for tonight. There's 8 of them. First is our budget summary, which are all the bills that we've paid since our last meeting. We've got our SBA financial reports for April of 2024, which Tom sent out to the board last week. We've got the Board of Trustees meeting calendar, which I just put up on the board, and we discussed that. This will be the meeting dates for next year. We actually have a water cooler agreement to upgrade some of the water cooler and filters that we currently have in the building. Our lease has expired on those, so we are going to be renewing with a different service, which is also going to provide ice and things like that for the nurse's office and for the staff room. We have the appointment of the school physician, which was discussed earlier from the RFP committee. Legal services, which was also discussed with the RFPs. We have the acceptance of 2 resignations, and then we have actually added the cooperative purchasing agreement, which is the agreement that I spoke about earlier, which will get us reduced pricing on the fence if we were to do that, along with a number of other services that we would be eligible for if we joined as part of the Bergen County group. And those are all the resolutions.
Okay. So now is the time for public comment regarding specifically resolutions.
I just want to say, as a board member, that I just want to thank the board, TCCS staff, for allowing me to serve the board. I think this is a very special school, and we're all very fortunate and lucky to have our kids attend such a great school. I went to public school in Teaneck High School from George Washington Irving, which probably nobody in this room knows, which is pre-K. The school's no longer around. I think it's like I forgot the name of the school, Teaneck Community School now. But I say that to say I've been a public school attendee from Teaneck, from George Washington, which is pre-K, all the way to Teaneck High School. And I think Teaneck is special. It's the reason why I moved back here. And I really wish I could have ran again, but I feel bad because I don't have the time. I'm juggling too many balls. That's why I'm late. I got too much going on, and I think that congratulations for making onto the board. I think the board that we have is tremendous, and everybody is really dedicated. And I wish I could be more dedicated, but I can't. So that's why I kind of have to step back. So thank you, everybody. Zio, thank you for running an amazing board.
No, thanks.
You really have taught me a lot here. And Ralph and Sonia, thank you so much. And my kid loves you guys. So I say that, you know, he talks very well about you guys and so do other kids. And I'll miss you guys, but I just want you to know that I'm always here to assist the board in any matter. Just call on me. And
Thank you.
if I have time, I'll.
Thank you. Very
Absolutely.
much.
And I also just want to thank you, Kirk, for your years of service, but also just being a resource when it comes to anything building related, architect on the side, question related that I don't have to pay for. It's helpful, and you've always been very approachable and helpful, and we appreciate all the things that you've done. And no, you're not really going anywhere because you got many years left with the school. Yes. But we'll definitely keep you in the loop, and we appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Kirk. Okay, and any other public comment regarding anything?
I just wanted to say thank you to Sonia for the opportunity to work at TCCS. I've had the opportunity to learn so many things. I've had the privilege of implementing the Friday snack shop with Ms. D. And I think the TCSEO for seeing that vision continue. Because of TCCS, I'll be starting my new path as a pre-K teacher starting in the next few weeks. So I just wanted to take a second to say thank you.
Congratulations, Sam. We wish you the best of luck. It's very exciting. Yeah.
I just want to give another thanks to Jamie and Ed for taking the time to come in here and give us such an incredible debrief of the journey of what you started. And it's amazing that you are still willingly, it shows the mission, it shows you what Teaneck Charter School is about. When two people who no longer have to be here and invest their time are still highly invested. I don't think I can stress enough how much these two people are dedicated to the growth of BPA at Charter, and we are super grateful, especially me. And I'm just really excited to work along with Jeff, Abby, the both of you, and I encourage everyone in the community that if you want to help out and get involved, just reach out to us. There's always something to do, because this is a team effort, and eventually, maybe I will go, and somebody else will have to fill in the shoes. So it's a revolving door that keeps growing and keeps giving, and yeah, I think the theme right now is just gratitude for being part of such an incredible place that allows you to expand in such a way, and leaves the doors open for old friends and new friends. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to say, when I was not brought to the board, Mr. Pierce was on the board when I first came on, and the absence of you was felt when all the projects, all the architecture stuff, all that stuff. So that's why Kirk was here for the past 3 years, because we needed your expertise definitely. And know that I feel that gap sometimes because you were so supportive just me coming onto the board as well. So thank you both. I agree, echoing Yvette for that presentation. It was great. Okay, anybody else? Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
My name is Lydia Kravka.
And I'm here to speak on behalf of Ms. Snyder and Ms. D. I don't know Ms. Snyder personally. I don't know if any of you have gotten my emails. But I don't know Ms. Snyder personally. I wouldn't even be able to figure out. The only thing I know about, I met her once at the beginning of the school year, and after Miss Creange, who I really liked and enjoyed, left because my son was under her tutelage, and she introduced Miss Creange. Miss Creange spoke about her credentials, and that's all we got everywhere. I saw the improvement with my daughter and how her language arts skills has improved. And when I found out that she was being fired, I know you guys can tell me why she's being fired. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And speaking to another parent, I'm like, why isn't Snyder being fired? I couldn't understand. She couldn't understand either. Someone who, with all his credentials and experience, is being terminated in less than a year without proving that she's such a terrible teacher, because the NJSLA was just a couple weeks ago. Results are not back yet. So I can say like the children are not performing. So why is she being fired? So I'm here to speak out on behalf of her. I'm here to speak out on behalf of Ms. D. I don't know Ms. D personally either. The only thing I can tell you about Ms. D is the community events. Tonight I listened so much about community involvement, and seeing Ms. D coordinate all these community events. I would see her, and I would ask my daughter and her friend, because I pick both of them up every day, and I would ask them about it. I would ask them about the teachers, and they would always relay information to me. And so that's how I know Ms. D, and I know how we keep speaking tonight about community involvement. She's doing all this community involvement stuff. Why is she being terminated? I don't understand. And it really disturbs me. And as for community involvement, I personally was involved in this school, being a parent and community involvement, setting up the garden. I built it 3 times, and 3 times the school destroyed it, literally destroyed it. My kids and I spent over 100 hours on the garden. The first time we built it, when we saw Miss, because I studied agriculture, that's why I like gardening. I saw Miss Yule one afternoon. Why is this garden looking so terrible? It had so much rocks. And my kids and I used to stay after school removing rocks from the garden. And we built it with the little material we had. Then the school destroyed it. We built it again. The school destroyed it. We built it again through COVID. Built boxes, removed so many stones, because my goal was to have something the kids can enjoy. Because how do you teach? We spoke about arts, but what about the sciences? Agriculture is a science. It includes soil science, plant science, animal science, even to deal with the weather. The kids can go out there and be more involved in it. And as for community involvement in the garden, I've asked people to donate things. I had people donate manure bins. The neighbor across the street was donating water when we didn't have access to water in the school at that time. It was the pandemic, and they were still doing construction, I think. And he was willing to donate water. I gave my time and everything. And what did he do? Destroy. They literally destroyed it so bad. Dumped the whole ton of stone, basically telling me, don't ever, in no uncertain terms, to me at least that's how it came across, don't ever in any uncertain terms build this garden again. And I will never build a garden again. Right now it's a rock garden. I don't know how people can build it, but that is, you guys want community involvement, but yet you produce that. And as I mentioned, I have these 2 teachers I see, one with community, one to build community involvement, and another one who my kid is striving under, but yet they're being terminated. I've never done this before. I don't speak out against teachers. I hold teachers in very high regard. And whether or not my child will like, because my son I know personally didn't like all of his teachers, but I didn't used to like speak out and complain
about them. I would send a teacher an email if certain things he did. But to go to this extra effort because I feel passionately about what is happening to these teachers that basically they're being railroaded. And I don't understand why the school, which we strive to be excellent. This is what you said. The status quo, I think that is what we're not a status quo. We're supposed to be excellent. So then why are we getting rid of excellent teachers? Why are we doing this? If Miss Snyder, all her kids were failing, then by all means, fire her. But you don't have the results. You don't have anything to prove. From what I heard through the grapevine from another parent, is because of poor class management. But if the kids have been more rambunctious after the pandemic, I know that my daughter and a friend tells me that the kids are misbehaving more. And I sympathize with the teachers. So that's why I always tell my daughter, you don't give the teachers a hard time. So I understand that. But if you're going to throw a new teacher in with kids who are rambunctious, she's new to the school environment, and then you want her to have the level of teacher management that Ms. Creange had. She was very much in control of the classroom. Then it will not always be she have to have her footing. And I believe in let teachers teach and let parents parent. Because if a child is misbehaving, it's the parent's job to parent that child. And if you have to suspend that child, you have to suspend that child. It's not the teacher's job to parent children. I don't believe that. And if my child is giving trouble, you send me an email, I will handle that. I'm not afraid of that. I grew up in the Caribbean. So it's a different level so I will handle that. Teachers are not supposed to be held responsible for a child's behavior. A parent is supposed to be held responsible for that. So that's all I'm going to say. I really hope you guys will consider the decision to get rid of these two teachers. And that's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. So one thing I want to say is that unfortunately, the non-renewals are not a conversation that we can have in public. We are held to confidentiality for the people that are affected. So I take that feedback. We all do. We hear you. And unfortunately, we cannot comment. Okay. Any other public comment?
Well, I want to piggyback on what she said. I had 2 children go to school. My last child's graduating this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But my thing is what she's saying. I understand Ms. D. You have to be strong. You have to discipline the kids at the same time, but then also give loving support also to the children. My situation with Snyder, I'm gonna say was totally different. I didn't get that from her. But I do know that from over the years, what I see here, I love to the community charter school, but I have seen more clips. So when a teacher and a teacher is talking, then it's actually, as I say, as you tell the kids, they're bullying. When you start zeroing in on a kid, that's not right. And when a kid speaks up, because I'm gonna just let you know one of my situations. I had to have my child removed from the teacher's classroom here because she told my son in 1st grade that he ruffled her feathers because he told her, you don't respect us, but you want us to respect you. She did not like that. And I never forgot that. And I had him removed from that classroom. And my son is very boisterous. These teachers know that. He speaks, but it's not, I guess, good as a child. But then also I do see other children not being reprimanded for situations, screaming, kicking, having one shoe off, doing all child failing one homework where also now they got all A's. Who's doing their work? Who's doing their work? Someone here is doing their work. Something has to be done. I love taking community charter school, but something, the cliques among the teachers has to stop. And then if you are gonna have those clips, then if you wanna, it takes a village to raise your child. I always say that. But you can't pick and choose who you're gonna recommend and you're not going to. Because understand the kids, my son has voiced that situation. You're gonna recommend me, but you're not recommending him. That's not right. You're showing favoritism. And it's what we call implicit biases, in community education. We all know that because we all take those tests that you have to take by December, right? So you do learn this every year. There's 48 courses that we have to take. So my thing is, something has to be done. I know, as Ms. Snyder, I don't know.
We just have to
I'm
wait.
gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
Just
But
to interject, I'm sorry.
The whole thing is that I know, as teachers, aides, you have to be stern with kids, but then also at the same time, you have to, you can't say, oh, no, you can't reprimand that child, but then, you're getting mad at the adult, but you should be getting mad at the child, because then no one else is following through at all. Like, I'm just really trying to understand, wrap my head around where is the 1 + 1 + equaling 2 coming at? Because I know Ms. D, I know Ms. Sam, I know that they are great people, and I know I say with myself, you have to, it's a way to talk to a child. I've even came in here at times, there was one kid, kicks and screams all the time coming into the school since kindergarten. I got out my car, I spoke to him. I work with 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. I got him to go to the classroom, to Ms. Winton, to Ms. Sylvester, had him take his stuff out in his little cubby and sit down. This is you have to, it's a psychological thing. You have to learn how to be versatile with children. And you can't say that, the child is ruffling your feathers. Because my son personally, he says, I know how he could tell. He could tell when an adult really is being truthful and caring and sincere with him. He hears your tone. He might not, might take him. He started a little bit, so he might take some time to get it out. But if you ask him right, he can definitely do that. So and he'll try and voice his opinion to a teacher, several teachers. They won't respond. But then I have to step in. I'm trying to teach him to be a young man and be, productive in that way. It shouldn't go that way. But the cliques definitely need to stop. Or hang out after work. But all this chatting, talking about a child and things like that, they hear it. They hear it, believe me. And they can tell by your body language, your aura, with them. That's it.
Thank you for your feedback. Any other public comment? Okay. All right. Yes, go right ahead. If you could say your name too, so people could hear us talking.
I've worked at the Charter School for 3 years now, 2.5. I want to thank the parents of the Community Charter School that helped me through the 3 years I've been here, but the last year when I've done the FAST events for all the support, especially the teachers as well. But I'm here to talk as a parent, not as a prior employee. I have 2 boys here, one has been here since kindergarten, now he's 5th grade, and I have one that's been here since 3rd grade, now he's 6th grade. And for my youngest, he had the pleasure of having great teachers, my other one as well. I do have to say that the charter school does have great potential. There's nothing that can be said about that. It has great potential. But I am very concerned about the students. Students come first. That's what it is. In our society, that's what it should be. Nothing else above them. They are the most important thing. From K to college, they should be our priority. Nothing else should be priority. What friends are in the school, who parents love what parents better, what teacher better. It should be about the education, our emotional, the physical, and the learning aspect of our students. Nothing else should matter. And what I want to say at the end of the day, if there's anything preventing that, we need to rethink, we need to reconsider, and at night we shouldn't be able to sleep until our children are settled, that they feel comfortable, they don't see any biases, they don't feel like one kid gets PBIS points more than the other. And my boys have said that to me. Mom, why do I not get PBIS points if I'm doing what I need to do? And what I tell them is you don't need to worry about it. If you're doing what you need to do, then that reward comes from that. But at the end of the day, any child should not feel that one is better than the other. So my suggestion is, like I said, I feel that this school has great potential, but what are we doing to make sure that our children are coming home and they are feeling safe? They are feeling respected, and they're feeling that they are not treated better than one than the other. But like I stated, to end it, I want to thank both teachers. I want to thank the theater program that has helped my son Jeremiah pertain to that. Ms. Abby, Ms. Kylo, Mr. Kylo, I want to thank those teachers that were invested in my child, who Jeremiah adores those teachers. I want to thank God, truthfully, for getting me through these 3 years. He has the one that has kept me, because if you don't believe something bigger than you, then life does not feel like anything worth it. But he has kept me grounded. I have asked him to defend me. He said, I don't need to defend you. He said, you do what I tell you to do, and everything will be fine. And if there's nothing else I can say, when you feel alone, trust in something bigger than you. Because that person is going to keep you through when no one else believes in you, or someone else is trying to make you do something else that you're not. So I want to thank TCCS once again, and the children of the community.
Thank you, Ms. D. Thank you, Ms. D.
I think
Yes.
one more.
Sure. Hi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal Scott
I'm
Myers.
sorry, Ms. Myers. I just wanted to give you guys really quick parameters, just in the case that we're discussing someone in particular. You just have to be very careful because everyone needs to be protective and the board can't be responsible for anything that defames anyone, okay?
No problem.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
My name is Crystal Scott Myers. My son Carson is going into 3rd grade. I am a substitute teacher here, and I'm also an attorney. I want to just piggyback a little bit about what everyone has said so far. I love this school. It's a great community. I think the students and I have built a rapport. I think they're excited to see me, and I'm definitely excited to see them. And I feel myself to be an advocate. And at the end of the day, I think that word is the most important word that we can use when it comes to our kids. We have to be able to advocate on their behalf. As a little bit of background, my background is in civil litigation. My son had some special education issues when he was younger, and he had an IEP in preschool. He came here without an IEP, but with a 504. My goal was, as a parent, to learn the ins and outs of the special education system, because I realized that I had to advocate for my child. No one else is going to do that. When I first interviewed with Ms. Torres, I told Ms. Torres, you know what, I think I want to get some classroom experience so that I can kind of learn the classroom, because I think I want to get into advocacy and law. And to do that, I need to see how a classroom runs. I need to see that I'm able to actually interact with kids and they respond to me a certain way. I've gotten that experience, and I'm so appreciative of that. I really, really am. The school is small enough that we can make a difference. We have some financial needs. We can make a lot more difference though. And so I know that there's a lot going on. I don't know the ins and outs of human resources here and why people are leaving or not being renewed. But I just want to implore anyone who has any type of power to please let us make sure that our processes, our academics, our curriculum, our special education department is robust, that is continuous, that we are filling gaps because it's very, very, very important. I know there are a lot of teachers leaving. I would like for us to fill those positions before the school year starts, because we cannot have kids coming into school and we have a sub in for 2-3 months. It's too much, it's traumatizing, and it's not fair to the kids, and it's not fair to their parents, and it's not fair to faculty, and it's not fair to the staff. I'm a sub, I would love to have a long-term sub assignment, but that's not the goal here. The goal here is to have our kids have a continuous advocacy platform, and that's our job. So if anyone is leaving, if anyone's not coming back, if contracts aren't being renewed, I implore us to find replacements, quality replacements, and hire those people before the school year begins. I don't know if we can have like a forum where we interview candidates. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not a human resources attorney, but whatever you need from me personally, and I'm sure a lot of my friends, my parent friends agree, to get this process rolling where we have staff that are capable and willing to help us get our children back on the right track, especially in special education, because it's so very important. I would implore that. I want to thank everyone who has had anything to do with specifically my child's education here. He's excited, he loves coming to school, he's made great friends. I love staff, I speak to everyone, I have no problems with anyone, but I am here to advocate at the end of the day for all students. And thank you very much. The people who are leaving, thank you very much. I wish you the best, congratulate you, and if you need my support on anything, I'm here. And I just want to say, keep in focus, advocacy is the most important thing, and our students need that every day of the week. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you all who have spoken tonight.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Good evening, my name is Jason Lang. I'd like to thank all the teachers that have assisted my sons, Jalen and Jeremiah, while they've been here, but I want to focus on one aspect. In your presentation, sir, tonight, in relation to your pitch for the Performing Arts program to be bolstered, you compared the charter school to public schools and talked about how we are special, how we have an advantage here based on the educators and so forth. I totally agree. Ms. Abby, Mr. Kyle, they do an amazing job in the performing arts. My kids have been part of the musical productions throughout. But I just want to say something. I remember sitting at lunch with Chinese diplomats while I was working at the United Nations, and I remember them, a question, vividly I remember asking them, how are you getting acclimated to life in the United States? Where are your kids going to school? And the first thing that they said was they were nervous. They were scared that their kids were going to go to public school here and that they would fall behind. So the only thing that I want you to remember and the board to remember is I don't want to be compared to the public schools. I want to be compared to schools that are performing high internationally, because it's a known fact that here in the United States, we are behind. Okay, my parents come from a different country, from the Caribbean, from Cuba. My mom was like a whip on top of me from a young age, so I don't want to be compared to any public school, not TNEC, not anywhere, not Tenafly. I want to be compared to, if we are trying to push forward towards the future, I want to be compared to top schools internationally. I want us to think like that. Secondly, the performing arts are important. I was also involved in performing arts, music, theater, but we're behind in STEM in the United States. All right, you look around, we're not the top in tech. H-1B visas for specialty occupations are given out regularly because they don't feel that they can find people here that are doing the jobs at a high level in tech. So a lot of people here in the United States lose jobs based off of that. So, and that's basically what I want to say, just keeping our mindset at a higher standard. And yes, we want excellence, but to what level of excellence are we trying to compare we're doing. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Meeting. Okay. Just gonna wait 1 second.
Good.
Good, okay. Thank you, everybody who spoke. Okay, so the first resolution is 2406-01 budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for May 14, 2024 to June 10, 2024, total amount of $306,688.92 be approved. Moved by Vallejo Jussie moves, second.
Good.
McGilchrist seconds. Sorry. Any questions or comments from the board? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2406-02, SBA financial reports, April 2024. Be it resolved that the board approve the SBA financial reports for April 2024. Moved by Vallejo Justie moves, second. McGilchrist seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2406-03, Board of Trustees meeting calendar. This is it. Give you a second to look. Moved by
Carter.
Carter moves, second.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2406-04, water cooler agreement. Be it resolved that the school administration approve the attached agreement with Quench to provide water cooler and ice services. Moved by Mizzou moves, second. Mitchell seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
Is there gonna be one every classroom?
No, it's not for the classrooms. It's for the general areas, our conference room, nurse's office, faculty room. Knows that, right? Yeah. The students will still have access to the filtered water bottle filling stations and the water fountains that we have on both floors now.
Any other questions or comments? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2406-05, school physician. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees appoints Rihan Shamim as the school physician for the 2024-2025 school year for the attached proposal. Moved by Carter moves, second.
Gonzalez.
Vallejo Justie, second. Any questions or comments from the board? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2406, I'm sorry, 20, is that a typo?
That is a typo. Yeah, 240606.
Okay. Resolution 2406-06, legal services agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the attached agreement with Clary Jacoby Alfreri Jacobs to provide legal services for the 2024-2025 school year. Moved by Carter moves, second. Vallejo Justie seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez? Goodrich?
Yes.
Mizzou? McGilchrist? Mitchell?
Yes.
Vallejo Justie? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 24, it's another typo, okay?
Yep.
2406-07, acceptance of resignations. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees accept the resignations of the following employees effective June 20th, 2024. Kimberly Myers and Lindsay Russo. Moved by? Had not moved, second. Gilchrist seconds. I just want to make a comment. I've been personally impacted, my children, by these teachers. They have done great work for not only my kids, but many kids at charter school. I wish them the best of luck, and I appreciate them, and they will be missed.
I echo those sentiments.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Good. Okay, Carter,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
hesitantly, Goodrich,
Reluctantly, yes.
Mizzou,
Yeah.
McGilchrist, Mitchell,
Yeah.
Vallejo Justy,
Sadly, yes.
sadly yes. Had not, same. Resolution carries.
It's probably a typo too. Yep, I'll update all these.
2406, sorry. Be it resolved, Resolution 2406-08, Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the attached agreement with the New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Alliance. Moved by Vallejo Justy moves, second. Heard that. I'm gonna go Goodrich. I heard it, but it was quiet. Carter,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Mizzou, McGilchrist, Mitchell,
Yes.
Vallejo Justy,
Yes.
had not, yes. Resolution carries. And
That's it.
This meeting is adjourned at 8:16 PM. Thank you, everyone who came.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who spoke.
Coming.